Hey.
Hey! Oh, I'm so happy to see you all. I am so sorry. I'm about 5, 6 minutes late, and I'm never late, ever.
You're not late. You're half an hour early, Siri.
Okay. Am I on early?
Yeah. Even better. So we'll dive straight in. We were just about to dig into your workbook.
Well, why don't you guys dig in and I'll just sit here and I'll listen in. Or, yeah. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to see you all. Carms, thank you once again. How awesome is Carms, you guys? Like, let's give her a hand. You are an absolute rock star. And I wouldn't have missed this for the world because you are bringing people together for all, goodness and learning and growth and all these amazing things that we all deserve. So to each and every one of you, thank you for being here. But I don't want to stop you from doing what you are doing. So
we'll dive straight into it after, Siri. We'll jump into questions.
Okay, awesome. But just know I don't want to break up whatever flow you're in, which I'm sure you were.
No. We were just about to start. We were just like, oh my God, this workbook, let's dive in. And then we're like, oh my God, it's here. All right, let's hit it because people have sent me a bunch of questions. All right, Siri, by the way, Happy New Year. So we are in 2024. And of course, everyone's trying to set their goals and things like that. So when we start our goal, in the beginning, it feels easy, but after a while, we stop believing that it can be done. What keeps you going?
Okay, so if you are finding yourself stopping believing that it can be done, I can guarantee you that you are focusing on how far you have to go versus how far you've come. So here's the thing, you guys, you all know from reading the book that when I took up triathlon, I didn't know how to swim. I was terrible. I came in dead last in my first race. I came in dead last a lot of races. So how in the world did I not give up over all those years? And I'm going to give you the answer. And this is what you must do with your goal. The answer is this, that I had to redefine what success meant to me. Because if success is reaching that ultimate goal, and that's all you're thinking about is reaching that goal, over time, if you've really started at square one, you're going to get discouraged. So success for me was progress. Every single day, after the day I set this goal, at the end of the day, I would write down 3 ways on that day that I achieved progress. So that could have meant, this time I came in dead last, but instead of being upset and kind of hammering myself, I was proud of myself for finishing, for crossing the line. Or this time, I pushed too hard on the run and I stopped for 5 minutes. This time I only stopped for 2 minutes. And then I got back into it. Any progress that I made, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally, every day I would log 3 ways in which I made progress because success to me was progress. And if you define success as progress and every single day you're taking 1 step towards making progress in some way, you will always feel successful. So no matter what place I was coming in, how far I was behind everyone else, every day I felt successful. Now, what we do know about success is that success builds upon success, right? The more successful you are, you build momentum and then things really start happening. If you're logging your progress rather than looking at how far you have to go, each day you're feeling this sense of accomplishment. And that is going to lead to the momentum that you need, that I needed to continue for 8 years to work the way that I was working to achieve my ultimate dream. The other thing too, that keeps you from getting discouraged is you also have to redefine failure. Failure is not a horrible thing, you guys. Failure is an absolute necessity on the path to success. So if you are afraid of failing, if you don't want to fail, if you avoid failure at all costs, you are actually not willing to succeed. because everybody on the path to success fails. And it's the failing where we learn. Here's the key. So redefine failure as learning. Learning, when we learn, we grow. When we grow, we make progress. And when we make progress, we are becoming the person we need to become to achieve the goal that we have. So this way, so imagine me as this 23-year-old, and this is how I define success and failure. I didn't get discouraged. No matter how ridiculous I looked, no matter how many times I made a fool out of myself, each day I felt like I was moving closer and closer to that ultimate goal. And one last thing. If you are not believing in your goal, you're telling yourself a story, and that story is not serving you. If you're telling yourself the story, I could have said in my first race, I came in dead last, I humiliate myself. I could have said, this sport's not for me. But instead, I told myself the truth. I wasn't lying when I said, maybe, you know, I have this incredible work ethic and grit and determination and this really powerful reason why I must do this. Because of those things, if I show up, if I go all in every single day, one day I can become the best in the world. So what is the story that you tell yourself? Make sure that it's a story that says that if I show up, if I go all in every single day, no matter what, one day I will achieve that ultimate goal. But you must also believe that the journey is the most important part. And you must always focus on how far you've come.
That's
so
beautiful.
I hope that helps. But I mean, there's a reason why I kept going for 8 years and didn't get discouraged. And you can too. But you've got to redirect and reframe everything the way that I did to set yourself up for success. And no matter how long it may feel like it's taking you longer than you wanted it to, trust that in that, on this journey, everything that you're learning and experiencing is setting you up for your greatest success, and you don't even know what that looks like. So there you go.
Siri, there's a lot of parents in the room here, and if they want to help their kids or teenagers when they're growing up to stay true to themselves and follow what's in their heart without getting that peer pressure, what's your advice?
My advice, now I'm not a parent of children, but I'm a parent of a lot of horses and a lot of dogs and cats. But one thing I know that I really needed growing up was to feel like I wasn't alone, to feel that people understood me and that I could talk about who I am, that I could experiment with who I am. So I think something so important, because a lot of, I had this client a couple years ago. He had 2 young boys, and this guy had been through a lot in his life. He had suffered, he'd fallen hard, but he had, you know, brought himself back to life and achieved all these amazing things. And his kids were having a really hard time. They were at that age where they're faced with peer pressure. They're faced with these feelings of, I don't know if who I am is okay. And I said, hey, you know, how often do you talk to them about your journey, about those fears you experienced, about the self-doubt, about, you know, all the things that you went through? He said, oh, never. I don't talk about that stuff with them. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's the greatest gift you could ever give them, is to let them know that here you are, their hero, and this huge success, and it looks like you've got everything together. But once you tell them that you didn't always have it together, that you weren't always, you know, successful, that you failed, you suffered, you were rejected, all these different things. Once they know that you felt that too, they won't feel alone, and then they see the possibility of themselves in you. So I would say that when it's about, you know, letting your kids know that they can be anything that they want to be, that they should show up as all that they are, you must go first in doing that as the parents, so that in them witnessing you, you're giving them permission to do the same. Does that make sense? You must go first in being all that you are, and not hiding the little things that you think are imperfections, but you know, sharing them outwardly so that they feel more free to do the same. that would be my biggest advice, because and just encouraging that, go try something new. As you know, in the book, you guys, I went off to Club Med because I had always been told by my parents, and be careful about the language you use when you're describing your children. Because my mom was always like, oh, she's just a wallflower. She won't say a word. She's so shy. She's so introverted. And this is what I heard all the time. So that's who I became. And in college, I'm introverted and I'm shy and I'm a wallflower. And even though I'm doing great things and I'm getting great grades and doing good in sports, I'm always in the background. I'm dimming my light because I'm the introvert. I'm shy. Till one summer, I decided, you know what? Maybe there's something more that I am, but how will I ever know if I don't try those things on for size? But it didn't feel safe to do that in my life as it was. So I go off to Club Med, if you've ever heard of it, is this like resort environment where whatever happens at Club Med, it doesn't matter because you're never going to see these people again. And so I decide that I am going to go work at Club Med, and I am going to be extroverted, and I'm going to be a leader, and I'm going to, make jokes, and I'm going to be talkative, and I'm going to, inspire people. Now, this felt so scary to me because that's not the identity that I'd been living. But what I found when I got there and I started trying these things on for size, it's like, oh my God, these are parts of me that I've left unexpressed my whole life until now. So however you can set your kids up to explore who they are, and to make sure that you are not putting labels on them that they will carry with them for a long time in their lives, that's the key. Let them know that they can be anything they dream of being. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I have all the faces here. Let me move all the faces there. Okay, that's better.
We were just diving into your workbook about personal values and how important that is in shaping, what you do, the actual action you take. How did your values change, and what's your current values?
Oh, my values changed a lot. And as my values changed, my experience of life changed dramatically. So as an athlete, certainty, significance. I mean, at the time, you all know that what drove my journey in the sport was to prove to myself that I was enough, that I was worthy, that I was lovable, that I could achieve something that I thought was special. There's a lot of significance in that. Not the kind of significance like I want to be famous, but the significance like I want to be enough. Now, if I had put love and connection, which is my number one and has been for a very long time, then that journey would have been, would have felt like it was inspired by more flow energy versus the force energy that I spent my entire career showing up with. Because it wouldn't have been about proving that I'm enough. It would be about, let me love myself enough to believe that I'm capable of something really special. Let me love myself enough to just go all in. Let me love myself enough to explore all my capabilities. Like that feels so much kinder. But certainty, making sure I did exactly the training I needed to do every single day, that I ate exactly what I needed to eat, that I got enough sleep, that I stayed healthy, like all these things. You can imagine certainty. When you're certainty driven, you try to control everything. The fact of the matter is that we can't control everything in our lives. You can control your attitude, your effort, things like that, but there are so many uncontrollables. So if your top value is certainty, man, you're going to be trying to micromanage everything, and you're just always going to be worrying about losing something or not having something that you feel is critical to your livelihood. So you can get in a lot of trouble when your life is being driven by those top two needs. What I needed to, in overcoming anxiety, for example, I mean, I needed certainty, and I thought these things that I did, the flicking the lights on and off, would somehow, keep me safe from these horrible things happening. I needed at that point to become more comfortable with uncertainty, thus choosing to go to Club Med. It was after this whole discovery and reading Tony's first book and understanding that life is up to me. And here's the thing, guys, like, this may be a lot of pressure on you, but life is up to you. Your experience of life, no matter what's happening, whether it's a bad time or a great time, is totally up to you. And it is going to be, your experience will be determined by what you focus on, the meaning you give, the things that are happening, and what you choose to do about it. So once I realized that, oh my God, life is up to me, as big as that feels, it's the first time I ever felt in control in my entire life. Doesn't that make you feel empowered? So that kind of set me free, but I knew, and at that time, I didn't know what the 6 human needs were. So, I go back and I realize this, but I thought I need to go do something that totally takes me out of my comfort zone so I can discover other parts of me. And so I needed to become more uncomfortable with uncertainty, with the unknown, and then taking up this sport that I suck up, all these things. Now, my top needs are love and connection, health, of course, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, and contribution. I think I might have on the last call talked about how I became so grounded in my purpose in hospital when I didn't know if I was going to have another day, when things were getting really dire, and I started thinking about what matters most to me. Am I happy with the life that I lived? And those 3 things, just as a reminder, and I know it's in the book, were, did I love with all my heart? Others, did I show them? Did I love what I did every day? Did I love myself? Did I live fearlessly, which meant, doing things that scared the crap out of me, saying yes to things that I would have never thought I could do? And did I make a difference? Did I make a difference in the world? Did I leave this world a better place for my having been in it? So I vowed in that hospital bed to that if I get another day, my every day is going to be spent doing those 3 things. That's my mission. That's my purpose. I'm going to love with all my heart. I'm going to live fearlessly, which means always getting out of my comfort zone if it means I can give more, do more, create more in the world, and try and make a difference every single day. So with that, it matches my values. I mean, health is in there because I know that the better I care for my health and my body, the more I have to give, the more energy I have to create and give and do in the world all that I want to do. And then the contribution, I want you all, like, at first I thought contribution just sounds like money, like a money contribution. No, it's contributing your time, it's contributing your presence. It's taking everything that you've learned through your experiences or in the work that you do and sharing that with others to make a difference in their lives. To me, this is what life is all about. How did we get on this? What question was I answering? I don't even remember.
The values, Siri, the values. I know you've got very limited time because your team told me you have to run. Do we have time for like a couple?
Yes, we do. You know what? What's the saying? Beg for forgiveness. Do it now and beg for forgiveness. That's what I'm doing. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Okay. You guys, hey, this is like my purpose in life right here with all of you. So let's just say that, yeah.
Okay.
Bring it up.
Big hug.
Are you guys good? Are you guys bored or are you happy right now?
Okay. I've got the question from us. Like, how do we gain awareness to change? Like, people early on their personal growth journey, because we all think we're right. We all like to gain more awareness of our thoughts and what we're doing, because we all think we're right when we're doing it. It's only retrospective we're like, oh shit. So how do we gain more awareness so we can change to be better?
Well, what if everything that you've been through and every decision that you make is exactly the one you're meant to make at that point in time? What if, I mean, this is my belief and it serves me so well. I've made some big mistakes in my life. I have landed in relationships that were just like, I mean, you'd think I was crazy for saying yes to them. But I don't want to look back and see it as a mistake, because if you really look at those mistakes you made, there are things that came out of that that have changed you, that have influenced who you are today, that have led you to the greatest things in your life. But that being said, to answer this question in another way, you know how when we make the same bad decision over and over again, it's kind of insanity, right? It's like, oh, here I am again. Okay, so I think it's so incredibly important when you have a tough experience, and even being diagnosed with leukemia, the first thing I said to myself is, okay, there's a lesson that I need to learn in this. I'm going through this for a reason. So I am going to spend every day searching for whatever those lessons are that I'm meant to receive from this experience. That way, my hope in my mind is that if I learn the lesson, I don't have to go through it again, right? So I think it's important when you make that mistake, or if you find yourself in a position that you put yourself in, because remember, we own every experience in our life, it's to look at it and say, okay, what about this? Or what led me to this? What decision, what pattern? And try to find that pattern that you need to break and replace with a more empowering pattern. So for me, for example, relationships. I remember for so long, all the way into my 30s, I went into relationship and I thought, okay, who do I need to be for this person to love me? Okay. All the way into probably early 30s, I did this. Who do I need to be for this person to love me and want to be with me? That's the biggest mistake in the world, because you show up as that person and then 3 months in, you're like, you want to be yourself again. And then the other person is like, well, you're not who I signed up for. But how crazy. And here I get upset that the relationship didn't work out, but it's like, I wasn't being me in the beginning. So when I finally vowed to myself that okay, I've learned the lesson. In every other area in my life, I'm fearlessly, authentically me. And that the most important place is when you're deciding who you want to spend your life with. So at that point, I said, next person that I start dating, I am just me in all my glory or lack thereof. Like, I am just me, and I am going to highlight all my imperfections. And that way, if they don't like me, it's like, good, I don't waste too much time. And that's when I met my wife. She thought I was crazy. I mean, because my energy in the beginning, I was so excited, and I just, she thought there was something wrong with me. But then she realized like that this is me. I have this really extroverted side of me, but then I'm mostly, you guys, actually an introvert. And she couldn't understand, but then she loved me for all that I am. And we've been married 9 years now. It's the best relationship of my life. So in that example, what I'm saying is, what are the things that you did, own your experiences, that you vow to not do anymore because you don't want to land in that same situation that has not been pleasant. But don't look upon anything as a mistake. Everything is happening for you, right? Life happening for you. Everything that you've been through has led you to where you are exactly today, which is perfect. Okay? And to me, the best decision, the right decision, if you're worried about like, what's the right decision, this or that, the right decision is the one that you go all in on. You go all in on and you never look back. You spend no time thinking, oh, what if I did that instead? None of that. The right decision, you go all in and you never look back. That will always be the right decision. I promise you. I promise you.
Let's take a screenshot of Siri before she runs off.
Wait a second. I want to know, are there any other like questions? There's someone here that has a burning question that's like, oh.
Yes, think about your burning questions while we're taking the screenshot. Ready? All right. 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, hold on a second. Hold on, I have to unpin. Hold on, sorry, y'all.
Rita, I want you to think about your question because she is our highest contributor for your donation course. So,
no, wait, who is that? I want to, first of all, thank you so much, you guys. Those that have donated to Believe Ranch and Rescue, I am so deeply grateful. And if you're not a horse person, here's the thing that I want people to understand. We rescue these horses and they come and they rescue humans. We run equine therapy, equine assisted learning events at our ranch. And I've seen some of the most profound transformations, whether it be for veterans with PTSD, people with addiction, people with depression, anxiety, kids, neurodiverse children, the disabled. These horses are healers. And I hope at one point in time, you all will experience this somewhere, whether it be where you live or here at our ranch. But we couldn't do the work that we do. We've saved 298 horses from the horrific slaughter pipeline where they are dismembered alive. It is the worst thing you could ever imagine. But you guys, any support means everything, not just to the horses, but to the people that they have healed. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And who did you say donated? I want to say thank you.
Rita, that's the one shaking her head.
Rita,
she's the highest support.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful. Okay, so Rita, what's your question?
I didn't prepare a question. Thank you for so all. Thank you, Siri. Thank you, Carms. I know it took a lot of effort. Thank you. We appreciate you. So
I appreciate you and Carms, you're amazing.
Yes, thank you. I didn't prepare, but I can ask question.
Yes.
I'm at age. I wanted to, like, when we say, okay, our goals or priority values, I want to do, but then the value is also family, kids. How to keep that balance and not be selfish. I don't know how it coming out right or not, and do that too.
Rita, I love that. Yeah, and what I hear is you have a story around what it means for you to pursue your own goals when you have family that's relying on you. So there's a story that pursuing your goals is a bad thing. What if pursuing your goals is exactly what they need you to do so that they know that they can achieve anything and they can chase their goals no matter their age? Like, what if, I know for me, my mom was always someone that was like doing new things. She wanted to be a vet tech, so she went to school and learned how to be a vet tech. She wanted to teach aerobic dancing and she went off and learned how to do aerobic dance and taught it. Like, and for me, look at who I am in my life. It's because she showed me what's possible. So it's actually a very selfless thing to do. If you think of that about you living out your dreams, you pursuing that which you're pulled to do, is giving them permission to do the same. You become an example for them. Now, you can ask yourself, do you want your family to think that they can't live their dreams? They've got to be there for their family. Like, what do you want for them? What would you tell them if tell me someone very important. Maybe do you have a daughter, a son?
I have 2 sons, yeah.
Okay,
2
so
sons, my mom and my granddaughter, newborn granddaughter.
Amazing, I'm so happy. How blessed are they to have Rita, right? How blessed are they to have you? But if your son came to you and said, I have these big dreams, but I don't want to be selfish because my family, you rely on me. I can't be selfish and pursue my dreams. What would you say to him, Rita?
I want him to pursue his dreams, yeah.
Why?
That's what he wants. That's what fulfills him.
Mhm. Do you think he'll be a better son, a better father, a better brother if he's happy and fulfilled?
Yes.
Do you think you would be an even better mother, grandmother, wife if you were happy and fulfilled, knowing that you also are pursuing things that are seeing you grow and evolve into an even greater version of you? Do you think you could be an even better family member?
Yes, of course.
So if you pursue these goals, you may think that the time that takes is taking away from your family. That's a story we tell. See the story, you guys, that's just a story. If I pursue my goals, I have less time for my family. That's not true. What if the story was, if I pursue my goals, I'm going to have even more energy for my family. And the time that we share together is going to be filled with even more depth and joy, because I'm going to be sharing whatever this passion is that I'm pursuing. So it all depends on the story you tell. If you tell yourself the story that pursuing your own dreams somehow takes away from being a good family member, you're never going to say yes to your dreams. And your kids are looking upon you as an example. So when they get to where they have grandchildren, they'll stop pursuing their dreams because they saw you do it and they love and admire and respect you, that they're going to want to do what you did. So I'm asking you, please, to know that as you come even more alive, following your dream and living with passion, you become even more of an inspiration, even more of a joy to your family members. Do you think you can believe that?
Yes.
Will you take one step today towards that dream that you have? Even if you don't know what it is, take one step towards something that you're being drawn to doing.
Will do. Thank you.
Who here? Wait,
What's
stay
the
here.
step, Rita? What's the step?
I want to know what the step is. I want to know what the step is. Where'd she go?
Oh, I'm here, but
Yeah, Rita, what's the step you're gonna take?
I have to think about it.
Who here, raise your hand, you guys, if you can, if you feel that Rita should pursue her passion, whatever those passions are. Okay. Is there anybody here that thinks that if Rita pursues her passions, she's not caring for her family the way that she should? Does anyone believe that? So Rita, you have permission from every single one of us, which doesn't matter at all, because the only person whose permission you need is your own. But maybe it's something you talk to your family about. I guarantee you that if it was my mom, I'd be like, Mom, go do it. Because I know that if she's happy, I'm happy. Happy mom, happy me. Who agrees with that? Right? So Rita, I believe in you, and I want to hear from you, maybe whether it's directly from you or you tell Carms, but I want to hear what it is that you are going to decide today that is going to lead you to saying yes to you. Okay? You deserve that.
I have to write it down, the whole thing. So I think that's what helped me to.
I'll keep you accountable, Rita.
Yes, Carms. That's important. Yes.
And when Siri is coaching Rita, she's coaching all. What is the thing we're writing down for our yes?
What is it? Because and remember, you guys, everything that keeps you from doing something for you is a story. I would be so bummed to know that my mom wasn't living her life because she thought that that would take away from what she can give me. That's giving me worry. That's making me worry about her, that she's not happy, that she's not fulfilled. She's actually taking from me if she doesn't go do what she loves to do. So when my mom decides to take on something that lights her up, I'm like, go, Mom. And I don't have to worry so much because I'm a worrier. Okay. What
Thank
else, you
you.
guys?
Christina.
And unless you're kicking me out, Carms, I mean, I still have time. So if you want to kick me out, just, you
We're
know.
really going to be in trouble, but Christina, hurry up.
One thing, I love the part of you telling the sentence, our stories are software, not hardware. That really hit me when I read your book, and I use it like a library, one chapter. My question is, how did you figure out naming the chapters the power of? That really hit me, the power of, the power of. Why did you choose that word?
You just gave me goosebumps for some reason, and I don't know why, Christina, but you gave me goosebumps. I think because these things were so important to me. And I called them the power of, because these were the things when I dove into really embodying these things or focusing on these things or prioritizing these things, those were where the massive shifts happened in my life. When I felt the power of gratitude and I started living with gratitude, everything shifted. The power of faith and understanding that faith is what I decide it is. Faith isn't what people tell you it is. Faith is what I decide it is. Faith in myself, faith in something bigger than me. Like these things. And when I thought about, you know, my teachers and the power of love, how it heals all. How if we all, even if we're going through the toughest time in our lives or major family drama, show up with love and everything changes. So tell me about which one of these powers, and you may have different powers, everybody, but I'm telling you that these things for me profoundly impacted me. So I would get curious about them, but there may be something different for you. Christina, which ones of the powers do you know has supported you in your growth and movement towards what you want most?
I would say the chapter about the power of resilience. Some people would use the word grit, but yes, I've had 4 small kids, and I wouldn't have had them if I hadn't some perseverance, some resilience. And now it's a new goal I have. It's okay, it's a different goal, but it's still back to how can I do that, keep doing, even if there's failure, even if it's hard work. Yes. Keep doing it and finding out, how can I do it? How? So that's why I love the words, the power of.
And you know what, Christina? You've proven that you have the power of resilience already. So with all these things, you just showed us your proof, right? You had 4 kids, extraordinary. That's amazing. So in this, as you're reading this, that resilience you need for this next chapter, stack all your proof, all the times you had to be resilient with your kids or with having them or whatever it is, because there's your proof that it's already inside of you. And now all you have to do is pull that out and say, okay, right now I need more of you. So let's lead with this. Let's lead with the resilience so we can get where we want to go. Stack your proof. You have tons of it, Christina. So we all have these powers, you guys. Like these powers are now inside of you. And I'm sure as you read it, you're thinking of your own times where you experience this. This is what I want. As I speak about it, I want you to find evidence for it in your own life. So you then are stacking all your proof of the fact that you have everything you need inside of you to create the life that you dream of. You just have to harness it.
Siri,
Christina, thank you.
Siri, I think you really need to run now.
What time is it? 5 more minutes.
Okay, Suzanne.
I can't stop myself. I will get off in 5 minutes.
Suzanne.
You can just cut me off.
I'll make it quick. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. And I'm so grateful to be blessed with your presence. And thank you to Carms for organizing this. But Siri, I wanted to go and expand on what you discussed with Rita. What if you go the other way, that you're so passionate about what you do how do you manage that with the other values in your life? Because, you know, one of mine is connection with family and friends, but at the moment, I'm so engrossed in my passion. I've got so much support from family and friends, but I feel like I'm not missing out, but I'm not filling my cup in those areas.
Okay. So how can you, and congratulations on being so invested in the work you're doing or this path that you're on. That's amazing. The fact that you're even worrying about not being able to do all those things with the people that love you probably means that you do so much more than most people ever do. But you're hard on yourself because it's so important to you, right? So what I would say, first of all, understand again that the people that love you, to see you thriving and like working towards something, you are becoming an example and inspiration for them. It's kind of like, I don't know why this thought came into my head, but I imagine like at a time of war when our loved ones have to go off and fight, but they're doing something, you know, they're saving our country. They're putting, you know, they're doing this extraordinary thing that ultimately benefits us. And as horrible as it feels to say, oh my God, well, that's a terrible example, but I'm trying, that's a terrible example, but you get what I'm saying. It's kind of like when I went off to chase my dream, you know, I had to leave my family. I was gone like 9 months out of the year. That was so hard for me because I loved my family and my dogs and my cats so much. But in that, like, they all knew that I was off pursuing this dream. And if I was able to achieve it, and even if I didn't, but who I became in pursuing it would allow me to be even better for all of them. So here's what you do though, guys. You find the time. So Rita, when you start pursuing this thing that you're passionate about, what you need to do is be very intentional about the time that you spend with the people that you love. I want you to schedule it in. Here's the thing, and let me ask all of you, would you rather have days with your loved one, just days, but they're constantly on their phone, working, doing different things, not paying attention to you? Or would you rather have 1 hour where they are fully present, looking in your eyes, listening, like centered, having an amazing quality time with you? Who would rather the hour instead of the days and days? Right. So for you, Suzanne, it's, can you find time where even though you may not have as much time, you're going to pour more of yourself into the time that you have? How does that look for you? What, like, do you have those times where you can be with family, and at that point, can you put your phone away, turn the computer off, and be fully intentional about giving all of you to them in that period of time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that take like you shifting everything in your life, or is it just laying the intention?
It's laying the intention and just tweaking a couple of things to allow that.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, I used to like I'd come home and do some training. I'd be training all day, but I'd bring my dog on some of my runs. My mom would ride her bike while I was running or sit by the pool. And, you know, there are tweaks that you can do. But here's the thing, you guys, and you know, the power of presence is one of my powers that is so incredibly important. Whenever you are doing one thing, whether that's your work, you are full on 1,000,000% focused and doing what needs to be done. But once you leave work, you leave that behind, and now you're fully focused on your loved one. And as you lay the intention to do this and consistently lay the intention, eventually that's just who you are. So I can do this now in my life. As you know, I am here 1,000,000% not thinking about anything else going on in the world or in my life. I'm just right here. And that serves me. But when I hang up, I'm going to fully invest in the horses. So you can do that. But here's the thing, guys, the story you tell. So Suzanne, if you're telling yourself this story that I'm working so hard and I'm not here for my family, you've got this internal conflict, which is doing you no good at all. It's going to make you not as good at your job and not as good as the person you want to be in your family. Instead, tell yourself the story that I can do it all. The more I pour into my work, the happier I am. I know I'm on track. I'm moving towards what I want. I'm going to bring that joy and inspiration to my family and go all in whenever I have time. And if you're not there in person, you write them little texts. I love you. I'm thinking of you. Or you schedule ahead of time something that's going to be delivered to them, so they always know you're thinking about them. There are little things we can do, you guys. Okay? Just, it has to be done with intention. What do I want to experience with this person? And if I want to experience that, how do I need to show up? Leave the phone, leave everything aside.
Thank you
You
so
got
much.
this, girl. You're amazing. You've got this. And your family, your loved ones want to see you doing this because then they know that they can do it too.
Yeah.
All right, Siri, we're all going to rewrite our story. We're going to let you go now because I know Siri will stay in the room all day for us. And we're all going to be in real big trouble already. So thank you so much,
You
Siri.
are in trouble. I'm not in trouble. I am living
You
my
say that
truth.
now.
No, God, you guys are extraordinary. I feel so blessed to have had this time with you. If there are any more questions, you guys, send them through. You know what, Carms, maybe you can copy the chat and send that to me in an email, and I'll send back some replies to other questions that weren't answered. Okay?
We'll do. Thank you, Siri. Appreciate you.
So much love to you all. Thank you so much. And your little, oh my God, if we can take like the finding away my book in your background, it just like touches my heart. So thank you. If you love the book, you guys, leave a review, please, on Amazon. That really means a lot to every author. Leave a review. That would mean the world. And thank you, Carms. You're amazing. And you know I love you. So to all of you, I'll see you all.
A little too much. Bye. Thanks, Siri.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Woo, thank you, Siri. We love you so much.
Okay, so we're totally in trouble. Well, she will be. She will definitely be in trouble. All right, so guys, I'm going to tell you the story of what's happened. So as you know, this is a fundraising event. And Siri's team, as you know, she's a high-valued speaker, right? She charges $10,000 an hour. So her team obviously isn't too happy about her attending a little book club, right? But as you know, Siri and her big heart just says yes to guns, right? And she came here last time and she loved you guys. So I really want to show our appreciation. So if you haven't donated, please do. She is only meant to come in here for 15 minutes. She was here for like 50, I think. So the voiceover didn't come through. I'm gonna have to record it again. So what I did was do a raffle for Siri's book so people could win it. And I drew the tickets out of a hat for all the people that supported it. And I was doing it during dinner as well. And Suzanne was the winner for the raffle, which was really cool. She won the book, and I followed up with the others on getting a copy of the book as well. So that was really cool. We raised the $1,000 for Siri Lindley for the Believe in Wrench course, and I had all those people to thank for it. Total high five, high 10 moment, and Suzanne received her book, and it was so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I found a way to make the impossible possible.